What's up, everybody? I'm going to try this for a quick way to do a video. Um, what I'm attempting to do is bypassing the upload process. Alright, so I got a lot of questions in the last couple days of where to find cars. So I just want to kind of hit that with you real quick and see if there's any way that I can actually assist you and help you with actually locating vehicles. Um, One of the first places that you can go to, well, there's tons of resources out there for finding cars, but we're really kind of looking for cars for profit. Now, one of the latest emerging markets that I've seen out there, which I think is ridiculously awesome, is the Facebook market. So if you're on Facebook and you can go into the little markets, whatever town you live in, they'll have a yard sale and what you'll find out is there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of groups. And man, I got to tell you, man, I'm a little bit impressed because you're going straight to the source. You kind of see who you're buying the car from. I mean, they're not usually very descriptive, but they're very serious. And if they're on the Facebook media, then they're generally you can access them. A lot of problems with you buying something out of a classified or Craigslist, you can't ever get the people to answer and or respond. So my favorite one right now is definitely the Facebook, and it's just been overwhelmingly good. Now, there's other resources out there. That the best thing that travels is through word of mouth. That is so good. I mean, I have people call me every day about cars, but I've been doing this a long time, so it kind of makes sense that they would. But you just gotta let people know out there where, this is what you do if you got any cars, and just say, hey, just give me a shot at buying it. Hey, I'll take your projects. Don't prejudge anything they got. Say, yeah, I'd love to look at anything you got. And a lot of times you'll go look at one thing and end up with something else. So just a good thing, just a good little feather in your hat. So I would say Facebook media is my favorite one right now. Of course, Craigslist is always good. Next Friday, if someone wants me to, I'm going to actually select a city and state, doesn't matter, randomly, and I'm going to actually go over I'm going to go over your Craigslist, and I'm going to start hitting down cars that'll actually make money, if that will actually help. Not guaranteeing they'll make money, but how I would look at it, and a little different perception of what would make money versus what I think wouldn't make money. So I'll go through and start giving you the highlights and lowlights of what's actually on there and see if it looks good or doesn't look good. What else we got out there? So I do like Craigslist. Now let's talk about Craigslist and surrounding areas, because sometimes you're in a real heavy market, but the market next door is they'll have cars on the page that been there for 8 hours, they're still on the front page. And then you're in the Richmond market, I mean, the market changes every 6 minutes. It doesn't even matter. I could put a car up tomorrow, I mean right now, and come back in 30 minutes and I'd be at the second or third page on Craigslist. Whereas we're in Charlottesville, you could put a car up on Charlottesville and I can come back there next week and it's still on the front page. You follow me what I'm saying? So sometimes the slower markets are good, but there is negatives to the slower markets. They usually deem higher money. It's one of those supply and demand. There's not as a lot of supply, so demand drives the prices up. Good for a seller, bad for a buyer. Now, let's talk about, there's other places out there too. I mean, now that the big car dealers are getting back into the game, they figured out that the auction's a ripoff, so they're trying to do their own auctions. I'll give you an example, CarMax. Great program they got over there. I mean, you can just go in there and just straight up buy you one. Now, what I like about CarMax, which they have a little edge on most people, they actually take 5 minutes to look at their cars. So you really have a good idea of what you're buying. You're not actually just buying something randomly hoping that, it's decent. I mean, there is always a little bit of hope, but the reality is they have checked it out. They have a shop, and you generally are getting what you pay for there. You do have a shot at a pretty good deal if you're willing to play ball with them. It's going to be a little more pricey because most of your local guys already know that they got pretty decent cars and they know they can make some money on it, which drives the prices up. So there you go on that one. Now, as far as Auto auctions, which I've had big videos on auto auctions. Auto auctions is a tool, but it's like anything. I mean, you've really got to know the ins and outs, and you really got to be willing to do your homework and work hard at knowing what you're looking for. And you got to go in with the right mindset that, don't get excited about stuff. Just stay focused on what you're looking for, and then be extremely, extremely picky when you're looking at it. I mean, all the small details matter when it comes to making money. Trust me. All right, guys. Any questions? Anybody got any questions about this car stuff? I kind of like this Facebook thing or whatever this is, whatever it's called. Oh, we got somebody from Portsmouth, Virginia. Okay, yeah. So Portsmouth, I like Portsmouth. My daughter actually lives there. It's a good market. It's actually, because you got Virginia Beach and you got all that. Portsmouth is an excellent market to make money in. I don't know how long you've been buying cars in Portsmouth or if you just live there, but Portsmouth is a very good market to make money in via either Facebook or Craigslist or local stuff, whatever. I mean, Portsmouth is a rocking market. That's not Portsmouth necessarily. It's Newport News, Virginia Beach, all the little surrounding areas, just a ton of people. It's one of the largest populated area in Virginia, so of course you got tons of market there, which is awesome. All right, anything else, guys? Well, today I'm finishing up the Escape, which y'all been watching on the series. So my oil leak, turns out, I don't think it's a sludged up oil pan. I do believe it is it's either a crank seal, oil pressure sensor, or something like that. Because I've seen a lot of oil, really fresh oil, that is looking kind of rough. So we'll be dealing with that here in a second. And checking that out, and hopefully get the Escape out and done today. So it looks good. Let's see, just had a question pop up. Do cars over 100,000 miles worth the buy? Actually, so let's talk about that for a second. What cars are worth what? Well, the first rule is any car is worth what someone's willing to pay. However, this becomes down to risk management. So you're not very you're not very experienced in buying cars. So I would be a little leery of spending any real money on a car until you kind of learn what's going on with them. Example. You can go out right now and you can probably look around and you can find you a $700-800 car, and you can probably drag it home and clean it up, change the oil, do this and that, and probably make it worth $2,000 or $1,900 or $1,800. Let's just say you can make it worth $1,600. $800 car, you make it worth $1,600. You make $800, you're off to the races, right? Happy day, couple days in. Now, let's change it. Now you're scared of the $800 car because it has 100,000 miles. So you decide to buy something with 50,000 miles that costs $6,000. Except you're not familiar with the market ranges. So now your $6,000 car you just bought, you overpaid by $2,000. So when you sell it, now you're going to lose $1,000, and you're still going to clean it, change the oil, and all that stuff. See, it all comes down to experience when you're dealing with cars. It's kind of subjective, really, but at the end of the day, unless you know, and I mean know what something's worth, you don't need to buy it. And like a question like is a 100,000 mile car. 100,000 mile cars are the most profitable area you'll ever get into, and everybody can go put $1,500, $2,000 in their hands and come buy your car. Not everybody can buy a $5,000 or $6,000 car. Can you make money on a more expensive car? Why, sure you can. You can make money on anything. But with the heavier investment comes the heavier chance for loss, and you don't really want to take that chance for loss if you don't have to. Now, if you're brand new into this, here's what I would suggest. Go get you a couple $3,000, start buying a couple $100 cars. Learn it. You're going to make some money, you're going to learn some mistakes, but all those things are a foundation on how you learn to get bigger and better. So it's hard to bypass that low end of the educational process. Now I've been from one extreme down to the other. We did a wholesaling from Manheim, Pennsylvania, all the way down into Tampa, all over the coast. Done. We had a Ford dealership. We did it all. So, but Guys, I mean, we're talking we'd go out and we'd buy 30, 40 cars, and we're sitting on the dealers all over the U.S. Now, sometimes we'd lose 1,000, sometimes we'd make 1,500, sometimes we'd break even. But a smaller guy doesn't have that option. You know, you've got to make every hit count. Like, you have to make money every time you go out to play ball. You can't, you know, as a small guy, you can't go out there and take $1,000 hit, because you can't. Then you're messing with your money to buy with. It just ruins a whole lot of things. So yeah, definitely stay with 100,000 mile cars. That will definitely make you money, and I think you'll be happy with it. Especially learning a little bit. You can follow my channel. That's all we mess with. I do some higher end stuff, but it's usually just wholesale, and it's nothing interesting to you guys. I mean, y'all would be like, okay, so whatever, you bought a whatever, and you just sold it 10 minutes later. That's not fun. It's not good entertainment. But the only time I ever do that is if I know I'm making money. Like, if I've got a standing tall Corvette or something that's just really pretty, and I know some dealer wants it, yeah, I'm going to take it to him and just drive it over there. Hands aren't dirty. I'm just a matter of right place at right time. But the odds are not in your favor starting out at all. Too big of a chance to lose money. Anyway, my friend, anything you need, just let me know, and I'll be glad to advise you any way that I possibly can. All right, guys, any more questions before I call it a day? It's 11 minutes and 31 seconds onto the clock. All right, guess not. All right, meanwhile, guys, take it easy. Nothing but love from the car man, and I will catch you on the next one. Actually, you're going to see some videos coming out. Sorry, I may have missed it. What is your recommendation for buying at auction? So, I think auction is okay, but that's really for a really experienced person. In the car business, basically, any car dealer, they all know that the laziest guy wins the deal. When, you know, we're all lazy, so we go up there, and the last man willing to stand his hand up and pay the most gets to leave with it. Now, being lazy has its pluses and minuses. We also have mechanics. We have this. We also know that we're going to lose money and hopefully make money, but, you know, it's all part of the game. But for the small guy, it's really tough. Auction's a tough business for a small guy. You really got to do your homework. You got to be able to check that car out, know a little bit of history on it before you waste your money on it, because you can definitely end your career really quick at an auction. The guys are they're just, you know, auctions are just ruthless. It's a ruthless place. Not saying you can't make money, because you most certainly can, but the majority of people don't. You know who makes money at an auction? The auction. Because they have a buyer's fee, they have a seller's fee, they have a transport fee, they have a fee for this, they have a title fee. They got fees for all kinds of stuff. But, so when I sell a car, I got to pay them to sell it. Then you got to pay them to buy it. Then I got to pay them to transport it. You got to pay to transport it back. I mean, it's a bunch of crap. I mean, and before you know it, I mean, they make $400 or $500. So now, if you're the buyer, you know, you're in this car $300 or $400 too much than you should be. And then me as a seller, I've taken $300 or $400 hit that I shouldn't have had taken. It's just, and you know, they do it by thousands. I mean, that's how they make their money, is they're counting on all of us being too lazy to go find them somewhere else. Occasionally, do you win? Sure. I mean, do you lose? Yeah, you're going to lose more than you're going to win, even no matter, I don't care how experienced you are. You can be really ruthless and go in there and you can hit everything at half book, and you might only buy 3 or 4 cars, but you're safe. You're going to piss a lot of people off, but whatever. Nice guys are not made for auctions. Auctions are just, they'll eat you up. Hopefully that. Okay, what's your input on Mercedes-Benz BMW with 100K? Okay, now this is a great question. So recently I bought a Lexus, and it was an ES330, I don't know, 03, 04, beautiful car, 176,000 miles. Now, granted, I only paid a couple grand for it, but it's a lot of miles. It's a lot of miles for a car like that. Anyway, I put it through the shop, and we got all the toys, and we made that damn thing. I mean, it looked brand new. I mean, I did the lights, the paint, inside, redid the interior. I mean, this car was just banging hot. I mean, it was just super hot. and it just sat. And it sat. And it sat some more. Anyway, weeks go by and finally someone comes and buys it. So did I make money? Yes. But it's not like a throwaway car, like a little import Mazda or even a Ford Focus. Just something that everybody's going to need every day. As soon as you move into the luxury car market, then everybody that can afford a luxury car already has them. So if you're dealing with 100,000 miles, you're going to have a market, but it's going to be pretty small. And on top of that, your risk is going up through the roof because anything happens to a BMW, Benz, it's big money. And you've got such a small profit margin, and your window of who's going to buy it is very small. I mean, you'll have some people that'll buy the 100,000 mile BMWs and stuff, but usually not. Those are more new car buyers. Now, of course, we all like BMWs. We like to ride around and look good, but at the end of the day, I would definitely, I would ward away from them. Unless, of course, you've getting a real good, great deal and you know it's a good deal. It will sell, but it's just not a quick turn. And the higher the miles, the longer they sit. That's the problem with luxury cars. We love them. They're beautiful. I'm a car guy. The more toys it's got on it, the more leather, the prettier the paint. I just love them. I swear to God, I love them. But you can't get other people to love them. Anyway, so that's my theory on the BMW / Mercedes-Benz. And that would go Jaguars. You can't give them away once they're used. BMW and Mercedes, they're going to get a lot of calls, but you're going to have to buy that car so cheap that it's the perception of a good deal. If you can give somebody a perception that they're actually stealing it and they're getting a great deal, then yes, buy it. If it's just an average book thing, no, not at all. It will sit too long. Yeah, so anything that I can do for you guys on that market, definitely. Let's see. Okay, bought a 04 BMW 325 with 91,000 miles. Sounds like a nice car. For $1,600. Now that right there, I can tell you, is a hell of a deal, but it apparently needed some repairs. He was in it for $3,300 after he fixed it, and issues were minor parts, extremely expensive. Well, there you go. So the guy he dropped $1,600 in it, and he walks out at $3,300. I mean, holy you can buy. I mean, I can go on parcarts.com right now and buy an engine for $1,200. So, I mean, that's just to give you an idea how ridiculously overpriced that stuff is. And it still sounds like he's all right, but you see where his profit margin changes from $1,600 to $3,300. Okay, so, all right, here's a classic example. All right, so this is exactly what I'm saying. So he sold it for $45,000, but he ends up at $3,300. Now, how much time has he got involved in that, and how long did that car sit? Versus one that you can get in and not put any repairs in, so to speak. When I say any repairs, a few $100s. And you can have it back out in a couple days. If you don't mind, how long did it take to sell that BMW from the day you bought it? Wait for him to respond real quick. Blake, yeah. So, yeah, I'm wondering how long it took for that BMW to sell. Anyway, that's how it happens, guys. I mean, we find those good deals and we love them and we're all about it, but and we can't help it, man. It's in our blood. It's in our blood. If it's shiny and we think we got some money made, it's done. We're the biggest laydowns on the planet. Okay, window regulator, steering, and brakes. Yeah, it took 35 days. So he made $1,000 basically, but it cost him 30 days to make that $1,000. So how many times could you turn $4,000 over in 30 days? If you were just dealing with $500-800 cars? You can do it at least 5 times. So that car cost him $5,000 of working capital. It cost him $5,000. He made $1,000, but he lost $4,000 from the time. Oh, I had to wait on the title to clear and had to lean it. Yeah, oh, that's some crap too. These titles will get you guys in trouble in a hurry. Do not. I mean, you can if you got time to wait on it, but generally speaking, I don't wait on titles. If they get in there and everything isn't ready to go, I usually just walk away. The reason is I've just been burnt so many times, and what happens is you have to call the guy and just junk the car for a couple $100s if you can't get the title, because ain't nobody going, whatever. All right, so But anyway, good job on that. It looks like Blake stayed with it and made some money. All right, I have a Mazda Protege wagon. It's sat in storage for 5 years. Is it worth keeping? Keeping it only needs a cat. Okay, so yeah, so is it worth keeping? Yes, yes. That sounds like about a little Protege 5. What is that? Probably about a 2,000 mile or something. So that's probably $1,000 car. You can easily, you need to put some, if it was mine, I would go get some seafoam, dump it in the gas tank, and change out the oil and all that kind of stuff. See if she starts up and goes. And okay, it's a 2002. Yeah, so that's probably about that's $1,500 car. So yeah, you can put 100 or two in it, and you got a great running car. And Mazdas are good. I don't know if the miles are high or whatever. I don't know if you said. Let's see. You didn't mention the miles, but the miles ain't that bad. And oh, it starts fine. Perfect. Yeah, keep that thing, man. Go drive the wheels off of it. Mazdas are great cars. You don't got nothing to worry about on that. I mean, some of them have bad transmissions, but that's a wholesale problem. Oh, less than 100,000 miles. Okay, now we're dealing with this. This game's changing. So now you deal with an '02 Mazda Protege with less than 100,000 miles. So now we're dealing with a $2,300 car. So yes, sir, you definitely have you some money there if you want to sell it. The car's worth putting a few bucks into just to keep it on the road because it's definitely worth some money, for sure. No doubt about it. Yes, sir, I'm digging it. Where was I at on the other thing? Yeah, he didn't realize. Yeah, exactly. On the profits, yeah, it's exactly. You got to look at what it costs you to operate. Now, people look at me and they go, "Car guy, how are you jumping in these cars and you're turning them in 3 days?" Because that's the rule. That's how you have to do it. There is no, okay, I just bought a car, so I'm going to take my time to fix it. Hell no. This is a business, so when you buy it, you have to say, hey, look, you know what? I have this amount of time. This is a 7-day deadline, and at 7 days, if I'm not there, we're cutting the trigger because it's on to the next one. Because that car that's going to make you $1,000 starts costing you $1,000 a week after that. That money has got to turn. It all kind of depends on what your overall picture is. If your goal is to make $5,000, it depends on what your goal is. If you obviously only need to make $1,000 a month, that one car is fine. I mean, you can take 2 or 3 weeks to do it, and that's good. If your goal is $10,000 a month, and you know that you're going to average $1,000 a copy, you got to turn 10 cars. That's 2 cars a week. So, period. That's how it is. So you don't have time to change it. You can't fix it. I mean, you have to buy cars that fit the mold. It is a business. You can only manage what you can measure. You measure it by the amount of time it takes to put it back on the street. All right. Anything else, guys? Look at this. We've been bullshitting for 23 minutes. Crazy. All right, guys. Well, I guess I'm going to turn around and I'm going to hit the old escape here and see if I can get a couple videos shot on that. And if I can, we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn it loose for you and see what the profits are going to be like on that. On that escape is a great example, by the way. Before I go, I'll tell you about that one. So that car comes in, the kid has it. It's 180,000 miles or whatever on it. He wants like $1,000 for it. Not happening. So I end up giving him $200. Anyway, so when I bought the car, I knew that I would have 2 or 3 days to turn it. And without the 2 or 3 days there to turn it, this car's a loss, even if it's free. And I've said this a million times because I had that Explorer y'all seen before. That was a free car. Somebody actually threw that in on a truck I bought. And I was like, screw it, I'll fix it. But you know what? I've taken no less than 5 days. That car has cost me money. It's a loss. It doesn't matter what it sells for. It's a loss. So you do need to timeline these cars because you need to figure here's what you do. This is how much money I want to make. I want to make $30,000 a month. That means you need $1,000 to operate. Anything $1,000 a day to operate. Anything that costs you into that $1,000 costs you money. So your time is money. It's $1,000 a day or whatever a day you need to be making. Okay, thanks. Enjoyed this? Yes, sir. Ed, nothing but love, Ed. Blake, thanks for the video. Yes, sir. No problem. What is seafoam and what is its use?
Seafoam makes a couple really good products. People really kind of tend to really screw up Seafoam, but let me get into how to actually use Seafoam. The best thing to do with Seafoam is it's either used in your gas or you can put it in your oil. And it basically will break down the carbon and eat it. And then when you change your oil, all the ugly stuff will go out. If it's in your fuel, it basically dries it up. And as it's pumping through your injectors, it'll eat the little carbon deposits and it'll clean your valves a little bit. Now, yes, for gas tank or oil, you can put it in either one. It doesn't matter. It's good for either one. But if you put it in your oil, you can drive it, but I only drive it for like 500 miles, and I let it back out, and it does a hell of a job cleaning out the inside of those things. It just does great. But a lot of people take off an air hose. Yeah, with old gas, exactly. You definitely put it in with old gas. It will clean up that old gas, and it'll make it a little better. Yes, sir. When people take off an intake hose, they tend to take and just let the air suck straight into the intake with the because the intake's under vacuum, so it's going to suck the shit right out of the Seafoam bottle, and the stuff's going to hit your valves, and they'll tell you, oh, it's going to clean it, it's going to break down the carbon. Okay, well, all that's all nice and well, and it's all horse shit, because what's happening is you have a steel ring most of the time inside those aluminum blocks for your valve seat, okay? So what happens when you take something ice cold and hit hot metal? It contracts immediately. So a lot of cars, you're in danger the second you do that with a hot car and you put something cold inside that intake, that valve seat is going to contract and drop. Now you're effed up the butt. I mean, done. You're going to drop a valve, engine's done, pulling the head, it's over. So if I were you, I would definitely not go that route. Seafoam is excellent in fuel, excellent in motor oil. Do not induce it into the intake. I don't care what people tell you. I've seen at least 4 Focuses that way. I've seen a Mustang that way. I've seen an F-150 happen to. I've seen at least 7 or 8 cars that Seafoam induced into the intake drops a valve. Now, I'm not telling you it's going to happen on yours. I'm just telling you don't want to be one of the guys it did happen to. You follow me? All right, enough lecturing about Seafoam. Hello, man. What's up? Five Rivers. What's up, my brother? 10-second sleeper meth injection. Yes. Anyway, you know what, though? I got to tell you guys, I've seen some crazy videos out there, like people putting water into the intake thinking that the steam is going to clean it based on the fact that, who was it? It was, it was Eric the car guy. He was doing, or whatever his thing is, Eric the whoever. So he basically, I know this stuff is so entertaining. We're all car people. All we do is watch car shit. We have no life. That's what we do. But he was like under the theory that, okay, if you have a blown head gasket and you pull the head, well, he's right that, it does completely eat the carbon. It makes the head look brand new, all that steam in there, but that's over a long period of time. Now, we really wouldn't want to induce water into the system, because what will happen is you've got rings down there you don't want getting wet. You don't want any rust anywhere. You don't want the water dripping down, possibly, washing the bearings, any of that stuff. We don't want any contaminants in our oil. Whatever you're injecting into that intake, and it's in liquid form, has the ability to go straight down into your engine. Period. End of story. It can happen. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen in a great amount, but it definitely can happen. So be careful. Also, whatever you're putting into your intake is definitely coming through your combustion system, and it will tear up a catalytic converter, which those are expensive. You got to be careful. All those things matter. So somebody tells you to just put something in your air system, be careful, guys. It's not really designed for that. That catalytic converter is designed to get really hot and burn leftover fumes. That's what it's designed to do. It ain't designed for cleaners and all that stuff. Not saying some of them won't work. I'm just saying be careful. Much love from Portsmouth, Virginia. The man. What's up, Portsmouth? Hey, all right, guys. So, look, I've been rambling on for 30 freaking minutes, so I guess I got to go. But nothing but love from the car man himself. And I'm going to go out here and get my hands dirty, bust a couple knuckles, and see if I can entertain you later today. Every Friday, we're going to be getting together, having this same little conversation. And hopefully we can all teach each other something and learn something. That's what it's about, right? Making money, getting down the road. Meanwhile, I am without a supervision. Jen is gone today. Yes! And so I can do whatever I want to do. All right, man. Nothing but peace and love. See you on the flip. Later.